next up is our judges, and this is the moment we've all been waiting for from this morning, is to hear their decisions based on the pitches this morning and the demos. So I'm going to turn the mic over to Dennis Bartels.
Thank you, Jerry. Well, first, wow. When we get back into the judging room, I think the first reaction we all had is, oh my gosh, these are just 15 to 18-year-olds who did what they did for us today. And so I just like to give them all one big round. And I think we also are continually impressed at how it seems that young ladies are so much more developmentally ahead of young men at this age. And then our second thought was, wow, we really wish we had something like this when we were their age. And so I would really like to congratulate the entire effort, the organization, the schools, the teachers, and the parents. You allow this to happen. You make this happen, your support. So thanks again. Technovation. So I just have a few overall comments, and then I'm going to turn it over to my colleagues to announce the third, second, and first place winners in that order. But first, I think the thing that we were really struck with, and I think all of us appreciate, that the number one thing most of us fear, besides death and birth, is public speaking. And the poise in which these young ladies communicated and answered questions and stood up here in front of you, as nervous as we know they must have been, was really to be commended. And they did an outstanding job in that regard. The second thing which we got to see, and hopefully many of you did too, is that the pitches were just part of it, but the demonstrations were an integral part of it. And I think we all really gained and got the much, in some respect, even better feel for these young ladies and their products and their ideas and the demonstrations. And so we really appreciated how well they showed off the actual applications themselves. And so certainly we use that information in our judging. Also, I'd like to just say that, we really do see a number of real stars in the making. And I think you probably did too. And so we're already sort of taking down names and sort of marking sheets, and like young, college coaches watching that, 15-year-old athlete develop. This group in particular is going to be watching how these young ladies develop, and I'm certain we're going to hear from a number of them many times over. I think the other thing that really struck us is that they picked real problems, and they had brilliant ideas for them. And so the way in which they really found something in their own universe that said, this just doesn't seem like it's right to me, or it could be made better. How would I make it better? So the authenticity to their own lives. And all that makes it, frankly, a really, really tough decision for us. And so you might imagine that, in fact, it was really difficult not to make them all winners. We also appreciated, though, and we were very well sort of coached to be very authentic ourselves. And to ask ourselves to remember these young ladies are only 1 or 2 clicks away from where multi-billion-dollar companies have been made in terms of age. And in fact, I was at a scientific conference not too long ago where a Nobel laureate got up there and said, why are a bunch of us old people standing around? Most of us, our most brilliant ideas happen in our 20s. And they're just a year or 2 away from 20. So being very authentic in that one, where did we collectively as a group see actually the most product potential in a real market for the ideas that were presented? And so the selections that we came up with, we actually feel like they have some sort of market potential and could be developed further into something that someday really could help add to our lives or even revolutionize it.